everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Coffee Shop Show for entrepreneurs all around the world. This is where we get together every single week, once a week for an hour, and we just sit down with some friends that just happen to be entrepreneurs and we chat about entrepreneurial stuff. I am Nistine, and you are...
I forget sometimes. That would make me Peter.
We're the co-founders of Explore Protech Entrepreneurial Haven, and we are so excited to be here with you today. At this point in time, we're going to have to close the door to the Zoom because people just keep hopping in. But it is absolutely amazing to have some amazing, epic entrepreneurs here today that we've all invited from all over the world. This is going to be a super conversation. Remember, as always, if you resonate with someone on the show and you want to connect with them or have coffee with them or just get in touch and find out more, all their links are in the description below. All you have to go and do is go to the description and click, and you can connect with all of them on LinkedIn. How's that for you? We had to spend about a year and a half meeting and convincing these lovely, amazing people that they should be talking to us. You just have to come to the show to connect, okay? And they'll talk to you.
Couldn't be any easier.
So, guys, we're going to get right into this. Let's talk about conversations into customers. So the topic for today is conversations to customers. So one of the things that I hear all the time is networking doesn't work. Meetings is a waste of time. I don't have time to meet with you. Why would I do that? What do you want to talk about? Why do you want to get to know me? Because people never get business. Some people never get business out of it, okay? So today we want to share our experience and our secrets. How do you actually turn conversations into business? That is what is on everyone's mind right now. So not to put you on the spot or anything, guys, but if you would like to chip in and tell us what the answer is, now would be a great time to raise your hand so you can pop to the top of the screen so that we can hear all the secrets from you. This is going to be exciting. Okay, we have one brave soul ready to rock this. Deanne, let's hear it. Conversations into customers. How on earth?
I love the topic of this conversation because it's about conversations. It's about people. It's about you. It's about your customers. It's about your strategic partners, your joint venture partners. And I have a fantastic networking story that just happened to me over the last few weeks. So a year ago, I met somebody at a networking event, and then we had a one-on-one. And then there wasn't an immediate, obvious collaboration opportunity. And then we touched base every quarter and kept having conversations. And every time we talked, we learned more about each other's business and were able to fine tune where the opportunities were. And then this last time we connected for the quarter, as we were talking, the light bulb went off and he said, "Oh, Deanne, there's somebody who could really use your help. And so I'm going to connect the two of you and make the introduction." Oh, and I forgot to say, over that last few years, he did make some referrals. And so I had conversations that were referrals to referrals to referrals and all sorts of conversations. But then those kind of spider webbed out in other directions, right? So he gave me a referral, another conversation. These ones went over here. So I'm still building my network, having conversations. But this one, he referred me. I had the conversation with the client. And because it came by referral, it was 1 hour and I landed the biggest client I've ever had. So it all came by referral, but you have to put in the time and build the relationships and keep touching base with people and expanding that relationship until the collaboration touch point happens and you figure out how to serve each other's clients.
I absolutely adore that. Thank you so much. And one thing I forgot to mention, every time that someone speaks on the show, they will drop their name and their business name like Deanne will do right now.
Perfect. Hi, I'm Deanne Duffin from Inspired Solutions Consulting. I work internationally. I'm currently based in Canada. And I guide businesses from concept to 6, 7, or even 8 figures with cash flow, time freedom, high performing teams, and a sellable asset. Have a great day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Deanne, and thank you for that epic networking story. That's what it's all about, right? I mean, like, I have a similar story where one of my biggest training clients, I would never have gotten a foot in the door if Peter didn't like get one of the people that works for that place to join our tribe. And that's how we accidentally got to know each other, right? And we just started seeing each other and doing stuff together. And then, like, one day she's like, by the way, would you like to train for us? I'm like, hell yes. Like, of course I would. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Deanne. I love that. I'm interested to know, though, how did you identify that that is someone that you want to, like, prioritize to meet up with quarterly? Because there's a lot of people, you know, you can't prioritize meeting up with everyone quarterly. Like, I do get that. Why did you pick that person? Like, was there something in the initial meeting that, like, stood out for you?
Well, I just like to talk to people. And I like to learn about their businesses, and you never know where the connection point is. You don't know who knows who. And I just have the conversations. I set aside a certain amount of time in my week for new and for follow-up, and just make sure that I'm continuing to fill the pipeline of leads and let things progress organically. But it's in the follow-up. Like I said, this was, 4 or 5 conversations with this man. He'd send me referrals. I'd touch back with him about, thanks for the referral. We're not working together now, but it is like the money's in the follow-up. And like I said, you don't know who knows who. Just keep talking to people and see what happens.
Epic. People are opportunities. Love that. Thank you so much, Deanne. Okay, so let's move over to Mr. Stephen Levy, also an epic coach. Let's hear from you, Stephen. Conversations to customers.
My coach.
Your coach. It's my coach too,
We'll fight later.
Stephen, please go for it.
Okay, first I've got to lower my hand, I suppose. Okay, good evening or morning or good afternoon, everybody. So yeah, I think Deanne said pretty much most of it. The one thing I want to add to that is go into the networking or the conversation, wherever you're having it, going without the expectation of doing business. And I think that's key. Just find out about the person and find out what their interests are. Have a conversation. Have the conversation. It is a conversation. And it will convert or won't into a customer. You asked Deanne, how do you know whether you should continue that follow-up or not? I think you just feel it. You understand, allow it to be. And if you're not there hard selling, let me put it this way, if you are there hard selling, you won't feel it. If you're there to have a conversation, you'll know. You'll know whether the conversation should carry on or not, both of you. If it does, it's fantastic, and generally it will. If it doesn't, so be it. There's 7 billion people on the planet. We don't all get on with everybody. So just accept it. And imagine if we did, what a great world it would be. But anyway, that's the one thing. The other thing is talking about allowing conversations. And I was listening with interest to Deanne about, allocating time. So we had a 45-minute conversation the other night, about a week ago, and 3.5 hours later, we got off Zoom. So it wasn't planned. It didn't happen. We coach in the same industry, similar types of coaching. We're still chatting about maybe there would be collaboration or not, but it just happened. And so I think that epitomized to me this topic, conversation to customer or to collaboration. I think that's important. The last thing I want to share with you is also a networking story where I had a cup of coffee with someone, didn't get business from her, 6 months later, coached a husband, and a year later, coached someone in Cape Town, and now coaching leaders in 7 different countries. And that was from having a cup of coffee with someone 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So I think it just builds on to Deanne said it all. So that's Stephen from Dare to Be Coaching and Beyond. And in a nutshell, I convert managers to leaders, because leaders are any organization's most competitive advantage.
You're our most competitive advantage, Stephen. I'm not even exaggerating. That is so epic. I mean, I totally agree with you, Stephen. I read somewhere this week when I was looking for networking quotes, if you always approach someone else and you have an agenda, then you have to start assuming that everyone else that approaches you always has an agenda. And do you really want to live in that kind of world?
Not really.
Exactly. So I think that's very, very important. Just like going in there and being open to whatever opportunities present itself, you know. So that's epic. Absolutely, absolutely adore that feedback. That is some great feedback. And if you hang up with the right people, I mean, it's almost like if you just like, there's 2 rules for me to entrepreneurship. Like, 1, offer something that people actually want, and then 2, just hang around in the right space with the right people. It's like almost impossible to fail at entrepreneurship if you do those 2 things, right? So
almost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of us are very talented. But yeah, no, I absolutely adore everything you guys have said. Thank you so much. Let's move over to one of our other favorite coaches, Linda.
Hello. First of all, I'm really excited to be back after a little absence from the coffee shop conversations. I was hoping that I'd get some energy coming my way, and that's already happening. So thanks, guys. Stephen, I agree with you that there's a big element of patience, and I'm sure Deanne really said that as well, that you can't expect results from one conversation at all, and that you build these relationships over time. And Nestine, when you asked earlier about, how do you decide who to continue talking to? Well, this year in particular, I sat down and considered that question and decided that there are people who are your prospects, right? Those that seem to be someone who could well become a client, and it's well worth your time checking in with them on a regular basis if they haven't yet committed to sign up for your product or service. The second group is your service providers, the people who can, if they don't already, they could potentially help you with something. Maybe it's your marketing, maybe it's your virtual assistant, maybe you don't have the money for it just yet, but you want to keep in touch with those people to see what's new, what's changing in their world, so that when the time is right, you've got that relationship already, and it's a matter of a quick phone call. Hey, Janine, I really need your services right now. I know everything about it, so the time is now, so keeping that connection. And the third group that you would keep a connection with are those opportunities to collaborate. And I've noticed there's a few people, both from BNI, which is a network some of us belong to, and Explore Protech, in particular, that I've realized those conversations, the second, third, fourth, fifth conversation, have actually reached a point where we are doing business together, or there's very soon the potential to do so. And it's really, really important to nurture those relationships. And by nurture, I mean you take the initiative to phone them and say, hey, we haven't had a coffee for a while, Stephen. It was actually February in person, so maybe May is about time we have another one, right? So it's that kind of a thing. And then finally, sorry, just to hog the limelight a little, but my thought process was about, what if you don't find it easy to reach out and make these connections because you're a bit of an introvert? And certainly in my past, that is something that stopped me from doing that. And even today, sometimes you get a bit of head trash where you say, I don't feel like speaking to people. I know that's not all of us, Nestine, but it is it is sometimes me. In which case, you've got to be gentle with yourself and say you can't speak to everybody all the time. So that's why it's important to maybe establish who's your core team, who are those people in those 3 categories, maybe 10 maximum that you can reach out to over the next 2-3 weeks. And don't kick yourself if you're not making those first connections right now. They can happen next week or the week after, perhaps. People are not just sitting there waiting for you to call. So, so it's okay if you're not ready to call. And that's my thoughts on the topic for today. My name is Linda Dent. I'm based in Johannesburg, South Africa. My business is Just Ask Linda. I'm a business strategy coach and I help my clients to grow with glee. So I look forward to connecting with those of you I haven't met before and reconnecting with those who are definitely in my inner circle. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Linda. That was so valuable. Absolutely love it. But every time you open up your mouth, it's always valuable. I mean, we should know Linda came to stay with us for a while. That was fun. Cool. She made us cottage pie. She makes the best cottage pie in the whole world.
Which is why she needs to come back.
So in our community, we don't even a lot of us have actually developed our relationships to such a level where people will post on the coffee shop, on our WhatsApp group, members only WhatsApp group. They'll post pictures when they're meeting up with people in person from the tribe. If they're visiting a region, they make a point of visiting the local tribe members. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that is so cool. And I really believe, it's in the long-term relationship building.
Yeah.
So it's okay if you don't, it's actually good if you don't get business from the first meeting, because it means there's probably, most likely, if it's the right person, that's worth building a long-term relationship with, really amazing things coming.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. On that note, yes, okay. So the ultimate power couple on this call, Janine and Chris, has been spamming me. I need to give a massive shout out to the one and only most amazing person from, I can't remember, is it Scotland or Ireland?
It's Scotland.
Okay. Rona!
Lunch bar.
We love you so much. We're sending love. You can see everyone on the screen right now is like, Rona, we love you. Rona, thank you so much for joining us on the YouTube channel. Chris and Janine, thanks for spamming me until I remembered. Janina, let's hear from you, one of the ultimate relationship builders.
Thank you so much. It's so awesome to be here. So, you know what, for me, it comes down to, because the topic is conversation to customer, right? So you need to have a daily sales routine. And when I say daily sales routine, I don't necessarily mean that you have to sell to every person you communicate to. No, it's more on an education time. So not all prospects are equal. We all know this. So when you start conversations, make sure that your product is good enough and it's a good match for that prospect that you've identified as a potential client, right? So have the right conversations. But with that, it's what Deanne said, is the follow-up. The follow-up is the most important part, and that's what most people don't do. One, because they just don't have the time. They're just so rushed to get to the client that will sign now. They forget about those clients that's not ready right now for them. So there's a thing called 24/7/30. So 24 hours you do a follow-up, 7 days thereafter you do another follow-up, 30 days thereafter you do another follow-up. And then again, 45 days. It's not selling. With your follow-up process, keep in mind that it's more about educating the client, because in 2 weeks or in 3 months, you could have added new services, you could have added new products, but your clients or your potential is not aware of it. Educate them and answer their pain. Answer their pain. And what Linda mentioned as well is the nurturing. Oh my gosh, I get goosebumps because I love to nurture when it comes to potential clients. It's a big thing because it can take 1 year to get the biggest client, but it can also take 2 days. look at Deanne. She had like less than 2 weeks, and she had her biggest client. And it's all because of communicating, following up, and nurturing. And with that said, is one of my second best client is because of communicating with the right people, doing the right follow-ups, and of course the nurturing side of it. And yes, they are actually part of Explore Protech. So absolutely agree with following up, nurturing, and just taking care of your clients. I am Janine from Jelani Sales, your virtual sales office, tackling all your sales to make sure that you're productive.
Nice. One of the only people that I've ever known to make cold calling warm.
You're amazing, Janine. And guys, you want to connect with this human being, because I'm telling you, I am still so impressed. Janine is one of the first of all, Linda introduced Janine into the tribe, but she's one of the first people that came into the tribe, and literally she signed up like 98% of our members' clients in the first week. It was insane. I've never seen someone operate like Janine operates. But I also love what you said. Yeah, so guys, remember, links in the description below. Click, 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 click. Connect with everyone, and definitely Janine. What you said about the free, not the free, the giving, nurturing, or making sure that people actually remember you because you're actually taking care of the clients. So when you help someone else and you make it all about them, they tend to remember that. And not only that, you're showing them what they could get from you. You're also showing them what others could get from you. You're also showing them why they should refer you to other people. So if you have a little something up your sleeve, Kenton, oh my goodness, Kenton is one of the most amazing audio marketers in the entire world. When we first met Kenton, we told him about our tribe song project. Yeah, guys, we're making a song together, okay? It's happening.
It happens.
Just before the Explore Protech movie.
I'm not in it.
But so one of the first things that Kenton did was he was like, that sounds like such an amazing project. I so want to be involved in that. Like, I'm a sound producer. Actually, like, I'll produce the thing. Like, because if I let you guys do it, you're going to mess it up. And that left such an impression with me and Peter. You know, we've been marketing him and telling everybody about him ever since. So that was just, and Mr. Levy, same with Mr. Levy. Like, we announce him as the best business coach in the world for the whole world to hear. Every time we meet someone, they can't. And like the whole tribe does that. Why? Because Stephen has helped so many people in our community. He's like a living legend. I mean, he's like, literally, we wouldn't have Explore Protech if it wasn't for Mr. Levy.
Oh, we just have Explore. like a 50%
just explore stuff. You know, So this has been, definitely so valuable. Thank you so much, Janine. And make sure people remember you by giving them something to remember you by.
Yeah, and also just to remember that because everybody in this, they come from different industries, they're in different spaces, giving answers from different industries gives a more complete answer to the people that are asking the questions. So, audience, the audience that's out there, if you relate to one particular person, they're giving an answer and you can just relate to that, their links are in the description. Just reach out and have a cup of coffee with them. It's really that simple.
We're actually at the point now where we won't do cold business anymore. Because, I mean, if I haven't seen your work, how am I supposed to know? You can tell me you're the greatest, sound engineer in the whole entire world, but, like, how am I supposed to know that that's actually true? So, yeah, just something to think about. Okay, let's go to J. Lex next. That rhymes. J. Lex, can't wait to hear your take on this. Conversations to customers, what's your take?
Let me just lower my hand first of all. Hi, everybody. So I think most stuff has been said already, but just a little story just to remind people and help the points to sink in about patience. If you think about the bamboo tree, when you plant a bamboo seed, you will not see any growth for 5 years. But does that mean that nothing's happening? No, because everything's happening underground. It sends down its root system first, and then 5 years later, you'll see a sprout. And then within literally a few months, you've got a massive, great big tree, and it's one of the tallest trees in the Far East. And it's quite a strong tree as well. So by nurturing, as a lot of people have said, by nurturing and watering and continually nurturing, you will create that strength, and you will create the roots, the foundation, so that your network will be strong enough to help you to grow and to convert those connections into clients and customers. I was going to say something else, which has gone out of my mind completely. Just bear with me one moment. Yeah, it's gone completely out of my mind. I should have written it down, but maybe I'll share it another time. But basically, yes, it's all about that patience, as everybody has said. Be patient, continually follow up. And yes, the other thing I was going to say was, wanted to talk about your avatar, your client avatar. Who is your dream client? Because unless you know who your dream client is, how can you identify whether somebody who you're having a conversation with is going to be your dream client? So write down your dream client. Don't just keep it in here, because you will forget things. Write it down on paper and look at it every day, so you know exactly who your dream client is. And don't just go through the typical demographics of what your client is. Your dream client is, okay, they're male or female or transgender or whatever, they're this age group, those things are important. But what is more important is the psychographics, the psychological makeup of your dream client. So what are their challenges? What's keeping them awake at night? What are the key, their typical complaints and questions that they will be asking, and I'll be saying, and what is your solution, and how will they feel when you have solved their problem by giving them the solution? So write those things down. Also think about their behaviors, where they hang out, etc., and also their financials. What is their financial status? How much budget do they have? Conversely, think also about your anti-client. Who don't you want to work with? Because we all get those, if you'll excuse the English, those pain in the backside clients, the ones which we don't want, and they just basically hang on, and they drain us of our energy, maybe even our financial resources, our time resources. They are the demanding ones, and we don't want to work with them, and they're the difficult ones to get rid of. So think about who is your anti-client. What does the typical person who you would not want to work with, what do they talk about? What are the things which they say? And that's horrible, Peter. Stop pointing the finger. She's lovely. So think about these things and get them written down on paper. Don't just keep it in here, because you'll forget things. Think about it, get those things down, because then when you're having the conversations, you'll be able to more easily identify who is the person that you want to be converting to the customer, and you can then then guide them through your funnel. And that's something else which I'll leave somebody else to talk about. We all need a sales funnel. And how are you going to guide people through the process of becoming a customer? So that's basically my tuppence worth, if you will. So I'm JLX Lindsay from jlx.com and the ION community, the International Online Network community. My mainstay is I'm a public speaking with confidence and networking coach. So I teach people how to speak with confidence on stage, on camera, on audio, and how to network more effectively. So that's me. You can find out about me at jlx.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, JLX. That was awesome. Absolutely adore what you said, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, we've actually Peter's always liked talking to people.
I can't help myself. It's a habit.
And then I liked it too, okay? And then we were having all of these amazing conversations. It was fantastic. And we got some clients from it, and we got some referrals, and it was fantastic. And then Marlon August, Mr. Super Sales, the best marketer in the whole world. We had a convo with him because he joined the tribe, lucky us. And he was like, but you guys don't have a customer journey. We were like, what on earth is that? Are we going on a hike? What is that? And that's the thing where, like Drylex said, like you work out a funnel or steps, or what is the journey that a customer takes from becoming aware of you to actually signing up as a client and starting to advocate for you. And the beautiful thing is, once you work out one of those that works, which will probably include you, also giving them something to experience you by, so that you can then just check in and say, how did you find that? Was that cool? And then they'll be like, I loved it. And then you sign them up, or they'll be like, I hate it. And then you're like, okay, cool, you're not my target customer. But the beautiful thing is, if you have one of those and you have worked that out with target clients and everything, you can work that out for your referral partners. So Deanne got massive business from a referral partner. I would take that person, profile the heck out of them, and set up a customer journey for more partners like them. Wouldn't that be amazing? So yeah, massively, usually amazing tips. Thank you so much, J-Lex.
You guys will obviously know, I mean, all of you in this space have networked in one way, shape, or form. And we all know that some people you meet and there is just this instant click. And it wouldn't matter what they do in business. You would refer them not based on what they do, but you would refer them based on who they are. That is the difference between a qualified lead. If you give people the opportunity, not only for you to get to know them, but for actually give them the opportunity to get to know who you are. It is not necessary to push the sale, because the sale is a byproduct of that. The finances is a byproduct. And I actually find that some meetings, I will meet with somebody and I feel there's something there. There's something there. And it won't matter to me what they do. I'll take the time to figure out what it is that they actually do, if they'll give me the opportunity to build that relationship. The business naturally flows from that. So it is essential to be yourself. Just be yourself, be relaxed in the space, give people the opportunity to get to know who you are. It's great if they arrive and you're like, this is who I am for a split second, but this is my business. No, your business is who you are. So give them that opportunity. They will appreciate exactly the same, and magic can happen. You never know.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Peter.
I know.
Okay, let's go to Natalie next. Natalie, conversations to customers. What do you think?
Okay, I'm going to take you on a journey backwards. I put my hand down so you lost me. So basically what happened today is I had a meeting with somebody who didn't want to hear a word that I had to say. And I spent maybe half an hour to 45 minutes in their space. And they basically shut me off in the first 5 minutes. I'm sorry, I don't actually want to know what you have to say. I'm not really interested in what your business is about. I don't care where you come from. I just want to tell you about my product and what I have to offer. And granted, if it was a great offer, I suppose I might have turned, but I was put off straight away. And that takes us to what I want to say about power partner relationships. Power partner relationships are about people that resonate with you because you take the time and trouble to show them that you care. You care about who they are, you care about what they are looking for, and you care about them and their business on a personal level. There's an article written by Declan Georgiev, I think his name is, and he wrote 80 plus referral marketing statistics in 18 January 2022. And he said that all of your business comes from referral partners because you want raving fans. Those raving fans move you forward on the know, like, and trust because they immediately position you as an expert with their clients. And that immediately moves you forward on the chessboard, and you fall down that sales funnel quite quickly. You don't still have to qualify the lead, explain to them who you are, etc., etc. They've already done that for you. They've cut your sales time down by 80%. So who are you? How are you showing up? And what kind of power partner are you? Are you a power partner that cares, a heart-centered business entrepreneur? Or are you somewhere out there just bulldozing your way through life, expecting people to come and buy your product? Because they don't necessarily want to buy your product, but they might buy a product that one of your power partners has. But if you haven't taken the time or trouble to find out who they are, you could slam the door in future business. And you could slam the door in huge future business. So that's me. That's my comment. And I'm Natalie Clack, Head Life Coach, and your awakening guide from Just Be Coaching Company in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Love that, Natalie. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And yeah, you're one of our ultimate power partners. So amazing to have you here. And thank you for sharing that. Next up, so this person kind of raised their hand and then dropped their hand, but I'm putting their up anyway because we're just like shoving her into the spotlight. For the first time ever, debut on the coffee shop show, Miranda. Tell us, what's your take?
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to speak. It's on a more practical level, so I agree wholeheartedly with everything everyone said from every different angle. And it was more in line with what Peter had just said regarding, and Steve, regarding feeling. It's the feeling, and you'll just know. And so for me, it's about what happens before the conversation. So by that, I mean questions that I ask myself. So just 4 questions. And the first would be, how do I want to feel during this conversation? How do I want to feel? The second would be, what do I want to bring forth during this conversation? So how would I like the person that I'm interacting with to feel? And then thirdly, what do I have to release so that I can make a heartfelt connection with this person or people? And then finally would be, what's the best possible outcome I can imagine happening during this interaction? And that's what I wanted to add, that I would do beforehand. And I do that before every single interaction I have, before every single meeting, so that the energy, a number of people mentioned the energy, so that and someone else mentioned nurturing and connection, and that communication can literally come from who I'm being to who they're being. And that's what I wanted to add. I am Miranda Thomas, Inspired Coaching and Consulting. I am a law of attraction strategist, and I help business owners understand how to use law of attraction to get better results in their business and their life from a scientific and strategic perspective.
That is so epic. I'm so happy we shoved you into the spotlight, Miranda. And Rona on YouTube is also saying, lovely to see you in this space with a massive smiley face. And I, for one, can say, like, we got kicked into a breakout room at a networking event that I think Natalie Rhodes hosted. She's amazing. And I immediately felt that energy when we were in the room together. And that's actually what prompted me to say, like, yeah, no, I would love to talk more to you. I mean, you just feel like blossoms and butterflies and stuff, you know? So, and very valuable advice. I totally do the same. Peter doesn't do the strategy before any meeting at all, but I do.
You just did it naturally.
Yeah, Peter's good at figuring it out on the spot. I have to prepare. But super valuable advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's move over to one of the best, most amazing creative copywriters, project leaders, Global Online Speed Networking Task Force.
Managing /
CEO
/
we listen to Megan now. Bambi!
Thanks, Peter and Ernestine. Hi, everyone. Just a short bit to add there. I think it's important also to keep in mind when you're conversing with anyone, not only someone that's a potential client, that sometimes what they're not saying is equally important as to what you hear them saying during the conversation. And it's a pity that Janine's just dropped off the conversation now, because in particular in the sales arena, she would know there's so many times that you've got to scratch very deep under the surface level of a conversation to find out what objections or further questions and inquiries clients have in respect to what you are offering them if you are selling to them, and more about your project. They will only ask you the question sometimes after being prompted for quite a while. So for me, I love speaking to people and I love conversing and networking with people. And I think that in my industry, it also helps me to understand what makes the person tick. So I might have one conversation with you for 6 months, once a month. And each and every time I speak to you, I'm learning a bit more about you that adds to my internal portfolio that I'm storing about you. And so whether it's learning something as simple as what your favorite color is, when your birth date is, what your favorite flower is, at the end of the day, it all combines to the point where you are actually getting to a space with a person where you are so comfortable with them and you actually look forward to the conversations and the continuation of those conversations with them. So I think it's important to know that every single conversation, even if it doesn't go where you might want that conversation to go on the day, I think it's important to keep going and just roll the conversation, and it will get to a point where either turns out to be a client-based relationship at the end of the day or a collaboration partnership. If that fails, you've made a friend. Thank you very much. Megan from Megan Creative, simplifying, clarifying, and energizing your copy and content. Thank you.
Super insightful, Megan. Guys, that's why we nicknamed her Bambi. Because it's like, wow!
Something that highlights to me is that you don't have to be a high-end professional and expert on this particular topic to talk about it, because what we're actually talking about is basic human interaction. We're talking about how people should actually treat each other, and it should be no different when you are putting your business out there. It should be no different. You're putting it out there, but your interaction with the people that come into your space should be no different than basic human interaction. There seems to be this thing of as a world, we've lost that. There's the hard sell. There's the get the masses together. Let's get them all hyped up, and then they'll buy stuff, and then they don't even know why they bought it. There's this thing of playing with the psychology of sales to the degree that people buy stuff they don't need or buy stuff they didn't even want. We need to break that. We need to be we need to be the change. We need to be different. And if we are real and human and we actually present that, people can pick up fake a mile away. They may be fooled once or twice, but they're not going to do business there a third time or fourth time. But with the genuine people, they will come back because they crave human interaction. They crave people. People need people. We need to be those people. And that's what this space is all about. And so you don't need to be a professional in this space. Just be human.
A nice human.
Nice human, not a nasty one.
And Megan does that better than everybody. Thank you so much, Megan. Let's move over to the soon-to-be Oprah Winfrey of scam prevention, Darlene.
Hello. So I'm listening to everybody, and I'm like just blown away, because this is a big issue that I have had throughout all of my networking. And so with Deanne and Stephen, when they say that they connect with people quarterly, and then Janine said the 24/7/30. But I was kind of wondering, so I like to, although I'm an introvert, I like to talk to people, sort of. It's And so it's like, but when I talk to people, I always feel guilty because so this is about me, sorry. So I always feel guilty because I feel like I'm wasting their time, because I know they have a lot of people that they could be talking to that are going to be their clients, because I know I don't have the funds to pay right now yet. But I'm getting a lot of support. Like and I'm gonna pick on Deanne, because I met with her last week and it was amazing. Like I said, I like to talk to people sort of, but after talking to her, I ended up talking to 4 more people that I would not have connected with and asked about talking to people, and so it's like it was fabulous, like it was amazing. So, but I don't want to be, I think it was Jalex who said you don't want to be the anti-client. So like, when do you consider being the stalker? Because everybody has so much good information. I like to reciprocate. So if somebody is helping me, and it's like every time you guys open your mouths, you're helping me. And I feel like I'm not reciprocating and doing the same. So it's, like I'm just like, I'm just blown away by everybody. So thank you everybody for being here. And thank you, Deanne, for getting me out there and making calls. And it is initially like to explore, to find out what people are doing. But it's also like, I sit here and I look at all those people and I'm like, I don't know how many of you have children. I don't know how many of you, have husbands or partners, or, you know what I mean? Like, I know nothing about anybody except what your title is and the work that you're doing. And so I do like to know more about people. Like, how many of you knew that I was a great grandmother of a beautiful 7-year-old? Yay!
Darlene,
Thank you.
I would like to say this to you. Before I even knew what you did for business, I would spend time in your space. That was the level or the impression and the conversation that we had the very first time we met. So what you were doing for business to me was irrelevant. You showed up as who you are. We spoke about your passions, we spoke about your heart, your time in Africa, your the non-profits you work for, the vision that you have, and it came across so genuine that to me I wouldn't have cared what you do in business. Just because of who you are, I want you in my space, because I can easily go, I would like to introduce this person to Darlene, I'd like to introduce that person to Darlene, because I know they're going to have a genuine experience and they're going to speak to a genuine person. So that to me is so powerful. Like, you can't top that. Some people have to try and learn how to be that. So it seems to ooze naturally out of you, this I really care. I'm doing what I do because I really care. It oozes out of you like this nurturing, natural, instinctive, mothering thing that comes across. And when people go into your space, they just feel safe. So you get to decide how you take that.
I'm so blown away. Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
Do I show red? I think I do show red on that. Thank you.
That's Darlene Petrie from International Scam Prevention. Scam Prevention International. Right, Darlene? Awesome.
And if you're not aware, we will be actually speaking about this topic soon.
Yeah, very soon.
We're going to be talking about this topic. So, yeah, let's not get scammed.
What you said about Darlene directly ties into what Miranda said about energy. So I love that. That's epic. Deanne, are you going to wrap this up for us with the way that only Deanne does it? Deanne, just do it.
Just do it.
Such a fantastic conversation. And I love how everybody's bringing their unique perspective on it. That's just so wonderful. And Darlene is so heart-centered. And I find that with heart-centered entrepreneurs, it can be a tricky balance because they're not used to asking for things. And so there's a couple of shifts. One is thinking about getting them to the mindset space of what they're offering is of value, and how do we package that and pick the value that they feel comfortable with in moving forward, and getting them used to asking. And so when you're doing your conversation with somebody, have an ask or three. If you don't think they're a client, then you can ask for a testimonial. If you can ask that they refer you if somebody comes up, you're looking for this kind of person. Could they give you a shout out in a networking meeting? Like whatever ask feels comfortable for you, and to practice asking, that it is a reciprocal exchange of energy, as Miranda would say. And so learning to ask, learning the value of what you offer, and practicing your offer in words that feel authentic to you. Is this the way you would talk if you were recommending a movie or book or a restaurant to your friend? If you're using words that aren't natural to you, then just keep practicing with them until you're having a conversation with people about, I'm thinking, and you don't need it all, at some point you need it all hardwired, but in the beginning, you just need a kind of idea who you might want to serve, kind of some solution you might want to offer, maybe some delivery format, and talk to people. I'm thinking of offering this. And does this sound interesting? What would be the value of this? What format would you like it? What kind of more information would you like? Just keep talking to people so that you're building your confidence, but you're also getting the information out there.
100%.
Epic, guys. You gotta watch this, rewatch it, share it, pin it. I don't care what you do it, but this has been so valuable. And what a high note to wrap up on.
Well, just before we wrap up, I generally do my homework when it comes to business. I don't like to be unprepared, but at the same time I can step into anything unprepared. And I like to know what I'm talking about. So when people meet people, I'll meet the people they've met. It's this thing of you get to know who exactly everyone is, who has the ability to communicate and get involved and become part of. And Darlene, I did my homework. When we met you for the first time, we actually had somebody that stepped into your space that wanted to investigate what it is that you actually provide. And if I remember correctly, it was Renee Bresser.
I think so, yeah.
It was Renee Bresser. And I went to Renee and I was like, what do you think? And he was like, I love it. I love this space. I love it. Is there value in it? Yes, there definitely is. So I don't think you've got to worry about your value. It's there already. You've just got to realize it for yourself.
And then do what Deanne said, just keep talking to people.
100%.
It's literally what it is. I adore that. Guys, this has been an absolutely epic episode of the Coffee Shop Conversation Show. I think if you've joined it on screen or on YouTube, this is the point where you literally give yourself a super applause. Should we unmute and just do?
Cool.
Woohoo! Epic stuff, guys. You've been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on the Coffee Shop Conversation Show for entrepreneurs. Remember, if you resonated with anyone and you think they can maybe help you, or you want to get in touch for a coffee, description, links are in there. Click, and please like, share, and subscribe this everywhere.
And to everybody that's here, just because we end the live session doesn't mean you need to disappear. You can give us a second afterwards would be fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm being strategic.
Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be here again next week when we will do this again. Just a different topic, different entrepreneurs. Love you guys so much. May all your wildest entrepreneurial dreams come true.